Hello and welcome to Diving into the Mind of. On this is a new show where for the first episode we've got for our first contestant and guest. And here's how this works: we interview interesting minds in Google Plus and YouTube themselves. So, for the first interview, our patient is Rose Patton. She is known for wearing a hazmat suit 24/7 in broad daylight. She's at home and she's a cat lover. But the most important part about her is that she's a conspiracy theorist who has revealed the secrets that Obama is not a president, but he's actually a mutant lizard that just loves to golf every Sunday. Behold, Rose Patton, ladies and gentlemen.
What an introduction. That was cool. Thanks.
So,
He's a lizard that golfs. Okay.
all right. So, tell us a little bit about yourself, Rose.
Can we start where?
Okay, let's see.
It's a lot.
So what do you do on YouTube, or if it's Google Plus that you're more known for?
Okay, on Google Plus I just post things that from my research. I'll like post things that like conspiracy theories basically, or New World Order, Jade Helm, anything that's happening that's relevant. Um
Hmm.
so I just hope that people, look into it, watch it, comment, whatever. Yeah.
So it is true that you're definitely into conspiracy theories a lot.
Well, yeah, because that's where that's where the truth is.
Hmm. So
Yeah.
explain for some of those that don't understand the concept, what exactly is a conspiracy theory?
Okay, it was termed by the CIA to discredit people. So, like, whenever you have, say, a critical thinker that doesn't just take whatever somebody says as truth or so forth, and they delve deeper into the things that are being said. So they coined it conspiracy theory. So to dismiss you. So
Hmm.
you're dismissive. So it sounds like, oh, they're crazy, they're conspiracy theorists. You hear Obama, you hear all of them saying that all the time, but it's only to discredit them, people, from critically thinking. Yeah.
Right. All right. So and just a curious question. I know this. There's one person that I've talked to that considers you like a teacher or a professor to her. Isalu Tylo, I believe is her name. Do you consider yourself to be someone that might have apprentices, if you would?
Well, no, I didn't know that.
There's
Uh,
a That's a very humble statement, definitely for sure. But she's like, I don't know. Me and her talked about this kind of stuff, and when I tried to she asked me, I asked her, what are some professors or people that research in this field of conspiracy theories that you'd recommend? And she recommended like four names, and I think it was the first one, uh, Joy Pugh or something, that I first disagreed with on her terms, that she was a Christian yet was in an authority of going to a bunch of lectures and stuff where she would have a lot of possible authority and teaching over men, which, if she's a conservative, definitely contradicts the conservatives' biblical interpretation of the part where the Apostle Paul says, I speak as God and permit that no woman should be allowed to teach or have authority over man. So then at some point, then she says, I'll need to go talk to Rose about this. She'll know what to do. So
wow, that's so cool of her. Thank you.
yeah.
Yeah, had no idea.
But
But
speaking of that, I mean,
uh,
are there any people that you would say would be considered experts in this field?
yeah, Fritz Springmeier.
All right, who is he?
Well, he wrote the book on the 13 bloodlines, about how to make a undetectable mind control. Um, there's so many books, but Fritz Springmeier, yeah.
Mm,
Fritz Springmeyer, and I would recommend him absolutely.
mhm,
Um, I'd also recommend Phil Snyder. Um, and now what he did is he actually worked for the government, and he would make the tunnels and the underground bunkers, DUMS. That's abbreviation for that.
mhm,
And hold on one second, let me. I'm thinking. Oh, Ted Gudner, he's dead. They killed him.
mm.
Um, and
Who's
he was a
they?
oh, the government. He
The
worked for the
government.
CIA.
Right.
Yeah, he worked for the CIA, and he was revealing things that he had found out, and he was going around doing some lectures and so forth, and they killed him.
Right.
Yeah,
All right.
Bill Snyder's dead too. They killed him too.
Mm. So then here's a curious question because at one point during the conversation I had with Isalu, she mentioned a guy named Charlie Vich or Veit. I might be butchering the name.
Hmm.
And the one thing I noticed that he was famous for was that he was a very outspoken 9/11 conspiracy theorist.
Uh-huh.
But now he's come to the conclusion, I think this was 2 years ago, that he's recanted everything he says and is now convinced that 9/11 wasn't a conspiracy,
Oh,
based
they
on
got to him.
some kind of documentary. I think it was a documentary they were doing, and someone was explaining the building collapsion. But of course, there's some people that say that he's actually playing a disguise or something, like he's pretending that he's been convinced or something.
Yeah, they probably got to him, and they'll kill you. Fritz
Hmm.
Springmeyer, they put him in prison for I think it was like almost 10 years. Um, there's certain things you just don't reveal. So, and about the 9/11 thing, I mean, that's one aspect of a conspiracy theory. I study everything, everything. There's not just one personal thing, one certain thing that um, that is my, like, my one thing I do. Like, I don't just do like Sandy Hook, and I got all that and that's all I do. It's a wide range of everything,
Hmm.
everything. So yeah, they probably just got to him, or maybe he was just, I don't know. I don't know his situation. I'd have to look into him.
Right.
Yeah.
And I guess this might be a difficult kind of question to ask, but do you think, is it possible, and note I'm just saying that if it's possible, is it possible that on some of these conspiracy theories you could be wrong?
On the ones I've studied
On the ones that you've studied
personally,
so far that you've studied, yes.
no,
Mm. All right.
no. I know I'm not saying I believe all of them,
Mm.
but the ones I've studied and I've come to my own personal conclusion, no, I'm not wrong
Mm.
in my belief. Somebody else can say whatever they want to say, of course, but
Right.
I don't. I have to debunk it first. I have to say, okay, it is real first. I'm not just going to look at something and go, oh, it's a hoax. Oh, it's a false flag. You have to look at it and say, well, it could be real. There could be real people that died.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So you have to go and find out, was there death certificates?
Hmm.
Was there any kind of, what school did they go to? Is there a record of them at that school? So I really dwell very deep into it. I don't just take surface level stuff.
Is this are conspiracy theories usually a good place of a debates? Because I've noticed religion definitely gets good debates, and certain scientific fields get these debates. But I never have seen a conspiracy theory debate. Is there any good debates that you've seen on this topic?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You have
Uh,
Jeff C. He does false flag hoaxes, and he's really good at it. Um, and then you had Robert J. Morrison. He was doing that for a while. Um, you have think Grim V. He touches on some things, and then you have you have a few people. Yeah, yeah. But a debate, I don't really think it's a debate though, because like I can't go into a conspiracy theory debate because I already know what I know. I've been doing this for almost 14 years.
mm,
There's nothing somebody can tell me that I have not already looked into first.
right.
I mean, if there is, I'd be extremely shocked. But I haven't found that to be true, so I don't know. Yeah.
Do you think that when it comes to something like conspiracy theories, uh, do you think that that's something that should be really forced upon people, as in we must accept this, or do you think it's one of those cases where we know we just need to allow it to be presented so people can freely make up their minds or whatnot?
No, you can't force the truth onto people. You know, you can lay down all the documents in front of certain kinds of people and show them proof. Show them actual documented proof, visual proof, and they're still deny it. So
Hmm.
you can't force that on anybody. No, it's a road you have to an individual has to take on their own. It's an individual road. It's not something that somebody grabs your hand and says, "Hey, look, check this out." You really it's a passion. You know what I mean?
Yes, and I like that response from because there's a lot of people that I've seen and met that are conspiracy theorists, and they'd say, "You don't have, you can't, you must not hide from this. You have to accept this. You have to. If you deny it, then you're just straight out idiotic." And then they start like shoving them and isolating them. And I don't think that's really a fair statement. Is that something that you would agree with how they approach their
I agree with
teachings?
I agree with you. You shouldn't force anything, and no one's stupid and no one's an idiot. Everybody's on their own level, and that doesn't mean that level is higher than someone else's level. It's just a different level, you know.
Hmm.
So everyone, everyone to each its own.
All right.
And I respect people. I'm not gonna try to force anything down anyone's throat.
All right. Well, good.
No. Yeah.
Let's discuss a conspiracy theory. I think because while you and me may disagree on some of the conspiracy theories, I think there's one we can agree on, and that's the New World Order. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's probably
That's
not only the one we agree on; it's also probably, if anything, the most scariest of the
yeah.
conspiracy theories that I've heard.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So, and I can hear a cat in the background.
Yeah. Sorry.
He's like, "Let me on the show."
Very vocal.
Yeah, just like most conspiracy theorists, we've got to be vocal about our approach.
I guess so.
Yeah. So,
So yeah, the New World Order. Yeah, it's a big one.
oh yes, and I guess the best way to so some Christians would approach it, I guess in Acts chapter 5 verse 29, it's we must obey God rather than man, and this is where definitely a lot of Christians will get their view that you know, and it's definitely where I get mine as a Christian anarchist. That it's good to obey God rather than man. But
Yeah,
then,
of
but
course.
then comes the a verse that the conservatives and the liberals will definitely use on people to submit to political power, which is in Romans chapter 13, which I will read from my Bible because this is one every time I tell someone I'm an anarchist, they say, "Well, what about this verse?"
Okay.
And I'm only going to read the first two. It says 1 through 7, but the first two are the only ones that seem to actually bring up a good point for what they're trying to say.
Okay.
Uh, Let every soul be subject unto the higher powers, for there is no power but of God. The powers that be are ordained of God. Whosoever therefore resisteth the power resisteth the ordinance of God, and they that resist shall receive to themselves damnation. Now, you're a Christian, right? Just making sure.
I plead the fifth.
All right.
I'm a
Uh,
follower of Jesus Christ.
all right. Fair enough. So we so based on that verse, it's basically trying to say that, because the government is of God, we shouldn't resist the government because it comes from God. And so therefore that's where they try to say, don't resist the government in any shape or form. You have to give unto Caesar what's Caesar's mentality. So what would you say to that when it comes to the concept of a new world order, since it's still a form of government, if it's going to be a one world government?
Right. Well, depending on how long ago that was written, maybe the government wasn't as corrupt as it is now. So maybe that did apply then. I don't see that applying now. I'm not going to say I take the word as gospel, but I'm just saying maybe it doesn't apply to now.
So that times in the past, it definitely says, we can be okay with the government and not resist it, but that there's a time that we actually can resist it now.
Well, yeah, because we're been taken over.
Mhm. And just to be curious, because I can tell that there's going to be a lot of Reformed theologians and Calvinists that are going to ask where in Scripture that one's going to be.
Of what?
Of for the Calvinists that I've met, they say that if you're going to make a thing like time might change when we're able to resist the government, they'll ask where in the Bible does it say that?
I don't
'Cause-
know. I'm just giving my personal opinion.
right.
I'm not saying that that's not accurate because everything in the Bible to me is accurate. What I'm saying is maybe at the time that was true.
Hmm.
That doesn't necessarily mean 2015 that it's true.
All right. So let's say the New World Order happens and the one world government and one world economy system exists.
Hmm.
Um, what would your advice be to those people if they are watching this? Because I noticed we got 4 people watching us live.
Hmm. What would I say about the New World Order and what to do?
Like if it's happened right now and you're giving advice to someone, what would that be?
I would say don't change anything in your life. Just continue doing what you do. If you go to work, go to work. If you read, you read. Just continue doing what you do, and don't let it affect you. Don't take the mark. That's for sure.
All
Just
right.
continue on. I mean, what they're doing, they're gonna do. I mean, there's no reason to get all scared or frantic or run for the hills or anything like that. Just continue doing what you're doing. What else can you do? It's everywhere. It's the whole world. It's it's all corrupt. So I don't. Unless you got a mountain you can go dig into. I mean, I just continue just doing what you're doing.
Nice advice. All right.
Just
Yeah.
continue. Yeah, you like going to the park, keep going. I wouldn't let it change who you are and your situation. So.
All right. So while we're on the topic of New World Order, first I want to bring up something concerning a issue that I've been dealing with a lot lately. It's concerning this idea of King James onlyism, and most of the people that are in this movement are also conspiracy theorists that think that these new Bible translations are a conspiracy. And one person that's definitely shed light on this kind of topic is the Stephen Anderson fellow of some of the controversial Baptist church, where he's gone on several occasions, said that Kent Hovind is a preacher of the works-based salvation gospel. He's suggested if you want AIDS-free Christmas by the end of the year, to enforce a law to if someone is caught confessing they are gay, then they should be executed. And of course, he's said several other things that have gotten him in the news. But the one thing that's definitely got him noticed is he was in a movie called New World Order Bible Versions, where he stated that the ESV, the NASB, and different other translations, including my NIV that was given from one of my fellow Christian relatives, is actually part of a satanic New World Order agenda. And some people, like Izalu and Nephilim Free, said that I've been deceived because I used to be a King James onlyist, but now after saying I've come to the conclusion that all of the NIV, NASB, those are equal merit to King James. They said, well, sorry that they got to you. You fell for it. So what's your thoughts on that?
Well, can I ask you something first? Do you feel like you've been deceived? Do you feel differently after you've read this, the different version?
Definitely different because it took a lot of research to. Because at first I wanted when I got this, I was offended and was doing research to go to my uncle my uncle's the one who gave me the NIV, and I wanted to prove to him that he gave me a satanic book. But instead, I came up on the other side after looking into much Hebrew and Greek manuscripts. I definitely looked into some James White material since he's an apologist that has dealt with the subject, and of course saw a segment on the John Ankerberg show where they uh, discussed this between several of the editors for the different translations, and of course several King James onlyists. One of them, of which, have you ever heard of Gail Riplinger?
No, I have not.
Well, she's the one that proposed the idea that all of them were satanic, and there was someone that was supposed to be a representative for her. But after doing a lot of some research on it, apparently there's a lot more to the controversy than what the King James onlyists are presenting.
Right. Right. Well, there is the New Age agenda. So all that New Age stuff that's out there, that's put out there on purpose to sidetrack people away from Jesus.
Right.
So I mean, as long as the Bible still preaches is Jesus's word, and I don't see the point of I don't see what's wrong with that. What's
Right.
wrong with it?
And
When people want to get caught up on so minute things. I mean, there's so much more going on in the world right now than worrying about whether your Bible is a satanic or not. It's still preaching to Jesus, right? So
oh
how can that
yes,
be? So how can that be bad?
and
Just
that's
because just because these certain preachers or people are out there saying these things doesn't mean it's true. They can be for that agenda to get people confused. So it's just about confusion. I wouldn't even play into that. I would continue feeling comfortable with whatever you do as long as your faith is strong. I don't see the difference
right.
personally. Yeah.
Like when it when I was talking to Nephilim Free, who was a King James onlyist, he pointed out two verses that in the King James had Jesus Christ in it. It was, I believe, Lord Jesus Christ or Jesus Christ Lord in both of these verses. But in the NIV and the NASB, Jesus Christ was removed, and it just only had Lord in those versions. And he thought that that meant that they were obviously trying to change something to change the gospel and deny Jesus's deity and divinity. But when we were talking to him about this, me, and when I say we, I mean me and a few other people that were skilled on this topic, we pulled up the original Greek text and showed that Jesus Christ, at least the words for it in Greek, were not in that original text. That this was a different, because they think the King James only used the Textus Receptus and a different other set of things, but they were very limited. And now we have more manuscripts that show that in the originals that they were using back then for the Bibles, Jesus Christ wasn't in it, just Lord was in it.
Hmm.
But he still said, well, I don't see how that defeats my purpose. I mean, King James is just the standard. So he was clearly not taking what we were offering. And then he was saying he was skeptical and wanted to look at it himself, even though I had it on screen share so he could see it.
Well, now I can't personally talk about him.
Hmm?
He's gonna have to respond to that himself. But I
Yeah.
can say that I only read King James version, but that doesn't mean I'm not a King James, like advocate. Like this is it. This is all you can read. I mean, that's insanity. I mean, it's crazy. A Bible's a Bible. As long as you're reading the Lord's words, that's all that matters. I mean, I wouldn't listen to any of that. It's all nonsense. It's just taking you away from the bigger picture. When people just concentrate on stuff like that, they're not concentrating on the bigger picture. I mean, you can go through the Bible and go through every single verse and compare each Bible to verses, but why? Why? You should just be praying. Why even do that? Yeah.
All right. Well, it was nice to hear your perspective on that for sure.
Yeah.
Also, I just got a comment in the for the video for the hangout that we're doing. A guy named the Knackered Gamer Show, also known TKGS, commented, "Can you subscribe to me and give me a shout out?" All right, well, there's your shout out. The Knackered Gamer Show, ladies and gentlemen, where games are knackered. Ladies.
What's a cool name?
Yeah. I can agree with that.
Knacker.
And we've also gotten plus one, an extra like. So you're def. I think we only got the like because of you. I mean, I can't do anything about a like, you know.
Come on. You're silly. All
Yeah.
right.
But yeah, I'm thinking about. Are you okay with getting in questions from the viewers?
Oh, of course. Yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
All right. So what we're gonna start doing, and so far I think yeah, there's two viewers now. It's still, but where if you want, I'm about to send a link on my Google Plus thing for questions and answers. Let me do that right now. I Rose Patton Q&A, and then I'm about to post it on the video. So y'all, whatever questions that y'all may have for Rose Patton, y'all can come in and start asking your questions. And the other reason that I say that is because while that happens, I'm going to use the restroom. So Christian Anarchist will be on BRB mode. So until then, y'all can either gaze upon this awesome picture, or you can gaze upon Rosa in her hazmat suit or hazmat mask uh, figure, which by the way I like very much.
Thank you. Okay, I'll be right back too then in a minute. Okay.
All right, so expect awkward silence, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay.
And we are back. Well, I'm back at least. So yes, if you just got this, or if you're just here, what we're doing is allowing a question and answering thing. So we are going to be, and I'm going to send the link out to other people as well. So if you want, I'm sending people the links, but if y'all can come in and y'all can ask Rose Patton questions, and while we wait on that, we are going to continue doing the interview as scheduled.
All right.
All right.
I wanted to bring up something real quick. It's not it's not oh, hold on. I'm sorry. One second. One second.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. Take your time. By the way, if y'all aren't aware, this program is sponsored by Jesus. So pick up a Bible or pick up something and get to learning and experiencing Jesus today. That is
Okay.
all. All right, welcome back.
All right. Thanks. All right. So I want to point out it's not about just conspiracy theories. That sounds so like, cheesy in a way. This is a spiritual battle that we're in. They believe in Lucifer, Pindar, Moloch, Baal, um, Satan. They believe in these deities. Okay. whether you do or not, it doesn't matter. They do, and they pray and worship them. And this is a spiritual battle. That's why we need to get our armor on. We really just need to be strong in Jesus Christ and stop looking at the little things.
Mhm.
It's a bigger picture going on here. You know, it's not
Yeah,
about the verse, whether it says Jesus Christ in the verse or not. Just read your verses and pray. You know,
right,
seriously, repent.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I guess that's the other thing. I mean, do you think this is just definitely more religious than because I mean, based on what I've seen, there are some people that are conspiracy theorists that are like Pillbox and Rand Campbell. Of course, Rand Campbell is going to be famous
They're
among
they're not
some.
conspiracy theorists.
They are not.
No.
They seem to be like. I mean, they take the same. I mean, they bring up. I think it was Pillbox that brought up the NASA thing.
Well, he's looking into stuff.
Oh, all right.
Kind of
So
rubbed
it's
off on him a little bit.
well, you got one apprentice there. We got Pillbox. So he's new to this. Then I guess.
I don't know how new, but yeah.
All right. But
I don't want
so
to get into that though. That's his.
right,
You should talk to him. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So I guess let's.
Rand Cam knows, he knows a lot,
Mhm.
but would I call him a conspiracy theorist? I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
So how can you tell something is a conspiracy theory or if it's just what some would call flat out ridiculousness?
Um, you have a certain
Like, is there a
situation. Yeah.
is there a certain requirement that or like ways that you can study
Okay.
something and figure things out?
Yeah, it's when they're telling you one thing, but it's really another. That's a conspiracy theory. That means they're telling you, yeah, you know, the 9/11 was attacked by terrorists. Okay, and we need to go to war with them now because they're terrorists. We got to kill them. You know, they're gonna kill us. They have weapons of mass destruction. Da 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 da. Come to find out, there was no weapons of mass destruction. There were no terrorists. You know, so right there you have a conspiracy theory because you're lying when they lied to you. That's a conspiracy theorist to me is when you lie, and I look into that lie and find out that it is a lie. But then a lot of the population believe it as truth. Yeah.
Um, are you familiar with the website known as WikiLeaks?
Yeah. Mm.
Do you think that that would be a website definitely for conspiracy theorists?
I think he's one of them.
One of conspiracy theorists or one of the
No,
government?
one of, yeah, working for the government. I think he's a just an info agent. I think at first he wasn't, but sometimes they come out like that at first,
Mhm.
and then you know they have good intentions, but then they get bought off. Kind of like the guy you were talking about when he was talking about 9/11. Then all of a sudden he redacted everything he said.
Mhm.
So I, a lot of people that worked with what's his name starts the head guy from WikiLeaks.
Julian Assange?
Yeah, a lot of people that worked with him said that they didn't think he had the best interests.
Right.
So
Like I remember when the movie came out called The Estate, he definitely disliked how his character was betrayed in the movie and said that they themselves were using a bunch of false knowledge in the movie, that they didn't know anything what they were talking about and that they actually made him seem more like fiction.
right. Hmm.
And then of course I noticed one reason why I bring that up is because last I checked them they had like a huge crap load of posts that were like recorded phone calls concerning 9/11 that indicated that this was a planned thing. So they definitely thought that there was more to 9/11 than just some terrorist.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. Okay, what they do sometimes. Okay, you have certain people that'll come out and give like 90% truth,
Mhm.
but 10% lies. So that poisons all of it to me.
So if there's
Okay.
a tiny bit of it, then definitely poisons the truth for sure.
Well, their truth.
Mhm.
Because if I find any lies within their truth, then I'd have to I have to break down everything they're saying to no. So that's what they do. They'll do like 80%, 20, 90, 10. And so like people who do their research, they'll say, "Oh yeah, you know what? He's telling the truth. I know about this." But then he adds a little bit of extra in it, down the road or in his books or whatever. And then you go, "Wait a minute. No, that's not true." So then you have to go back and go, "Okay, now I just believed everything this guy was saying. So now I have to go back, and you have to go back as a researcher and redact everything you just learned from this person because he put in 10% of lies." So it's very time consuming. It's not an easy road. It's not an easy road at all. That's why it's taken me so long. This is 14 years I've been doing this. It's, it's not easy. You don't just come to conclusions. You don't just say, "Well, I think this." "Well, I think it because of this." You know what I mean? And this, and this. You know, yeah. So,
All right, so we're gonna go into a bit of a fun mode while we have Rose here. This, I guess, will be our test of does Rose have a sense of humor? All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's see what we can do. All right,
mm,
for $500,000,
I'll tell you everything
Rose,
without explaining.
Rose, everything's on the line here.
Okay, all right.
Fish or tacos?
Tacos.
All right, correct. All right, second
Correct.
question.
That was the wrong or right answer. Okay, go ahead.
The reason why fish is wrong is because the fish was the reason behind 9/11. You see, it's not the Arabians like they'll say. Okay, what happened was that a bunch of catfish, all right, they decided to put on some turbans. They got into a airplane, and they all of a sudden had AK-47s and was starting to tell everyone to get down. And yes, fish can fly planes. It is proven.
Well, I don't even believe there was planes. If you want to get,
Exactly.
I don't know if you want to get into that, but I don't even
Ooh,
think there was planes.
it gets even spicier.
Okay.
All right. All right, so we'll do that. We'll discuss more on these later. But next question: gas or mustard?
What? What kind of gas?
I don't know. It can either be the gas that comes from farts. It could either be the kind of
I'll
gas
take the
that.
mustard.
All right, so yeah,
Yeah,
good
that's
answer there. Congratulations, Rose. You've won. You're now a millionaire.
I wouldn't even take the $1 million.
All right, good. I like that answer.
Yeah. Money, I don't. Okay, go ahead.
All right, so those were those comments. All right, so let's try to do something interesting. If you're There's a show I do, and I think I might try to get you on it at some point. We call it the Sober Peasants, and on the Sober Peasants we do a bunch of just straight out stupid things. We talk about Christian news, media. Um, we discuss apologetics, and sometimes we also do this funny little game um, on our show. And one of the things is we look at a picture, and sometimes just because I'm a huge nerd, it's anime.
I'm a nerd too, so it's cool. I like anime. Go ahead.
Cool. You'll love one of the videos I did. I went to an anime convention called Acon.
Oh, I heard of that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun.
Oh, yeah. Did you
Uh,
dress up?
Oh yeah, it was Charlie Scene from Hollywood Undead.
Oh, cool. I like Hollywood and Dead.
Yeah, I met a J Dog while I was there too. So,
That's cool. You guys took pictures?
oh yeah, we took pictures. I'm gonna try to post that on my Google thing probably.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, if you got time after the show, I'll show you some of the pictures. But here's the first picture for the game, and here's what you got to do. You got
Mm.
to look at the picture and then make a caption, either either the picture's being spoken or you're just saying, what does this picture say to you? So
Okay.
here's the first picture.
Okay. Oh man.
All right.
I
What's
would say ouch
uh? So
and
you're the
weird.
one. So you're holding the girl.
Yeah, I'd be holding the girl. Yeah.
Wow. All right. All right. So let's see. Next picture in our list. It already has a caption for some odd reason. That's because it's a picture that I use
I like
whenever
orange.
I. It's a picture that I use when I go to atheist hangouts.
Uh oh.
So here it is.
Affleck.
Yeah. Oh, that's your Affleck.
Yeah,
I can you imagine that if the
that'd be cool.
commercial?
Yeah, that
F,
would be cool.
yeah, just right out the window. Affleck.
It'd be funny though. I hate commercials, but that would be funny.
Yep.
I'd watch that one.
All right. So, dang it. Okay, I'm trying to find another one. Okay, I think we got time for one more.
Okay.
And this one's for all you One Piece nerds out there because there's several of you people out there that love it. I probably don't personally understand it because the drawing's too weird, but hey, there was several of those cosplayers at the Acon convention. Surprising thing, one of the characters is just wearing a shirt, like a Hawaiian shirt or something,
Yeah.
and a speedo.
Oh, whoa.
So seeing people dress up as that, you can imagine there's some junk down there that's I shouldn't see.
Yeah. Men should not wear speedos.
Yeah. Okay, this is our picture though. And this
Okay.
is this is an easy target because he's obviously in love with something. What is it?
The New World Order. His eyes covered. His one eye covered, and the other one's a heart. So I would say kind of Illuminati-ish.
All right. So note if there's hearts in your eyes, or if you're starting to get that way, and one of your eyes is covered, like
Yeah.
one of those emo people,
Yeah.
you might be under the New World Order.
Yeah. Run.
All right. So far, I'm surprised and shocked that no one came in for the question and answering. Shame on all you people. Rose was just dying to get some questions from her fans, and I know there's several of you out there.
Okay.
All right, but yes, that's probably going to be all the time we got, and because I think Rose has a hangout coming up with Pillbox in a 15 minutes. Am I correct or?
Well, I still have to get a hold of Pillbox.
Hmm.
So hopefully, yeah.
Well, she might still do it anyways if this reaches out to people
No,
that.
I'm gonna do it anyways. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So if y'all still want to talk to Rose, she'll definitely be there around in about 15 minutes. So uh, it's not. It was nice talking to you, Rose. Was there anything you want to say to the lovely people here?
Yeah. Don't believe everything you're told. I mean, look into stuff. Don't just say, "Oh, well, they said this." Look into it. Take the time to look into it for yourself, so
And that
you know. Yes.
and that brings me to a curious question because the Izalu is one that buys into the concept of conspiracy and New World Order, but she always says whenever she needs to do research on the topic, she says she uh, goes to either you or Pillbox or Nephilim. Do you
Mhm.
think that that in itself is a good conduct of research, or would you tell her, go read some books, go look this stuff on the internet, don't just ask other people? Because I mean, would you uh, that, or do you think it's okay for people to conduct other people in real life about this?
Well, yeah, why not? I mean, if I didn't have anybody to help me, nobody helped me. I didn't have anybody to go to and say, hey, or they didn't have a page because I just started Google Plus in December. So I didn't have a page to go to and look at this information, these documents, and so forth. I had to do it the hard way. I had to go to the library, order the books. Sometimes these books, there's only two in the whole United States. Okay, so you got 2 weeks to read them. um yeah, it's very difficult. It's not an easy road, but I didn't have anyone helping me. Nobody helped me with any of this. And so if you have somebody there that's willing to help you out and answer some questions or give you some links or so forth, do so. Why not? Yeah, absolutely. I wish I had that. I probably wouldn't have took me so long. you know yeah.
No. All right. Well, thank you, Rose. It's definitely good. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to end this broadcast. So, as my usual catchphrase goes, Shalom Alaikum. Peace be upon you, because I wish that upon you.